What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. These are my DFS NFL Week 10 picks. This week, and this week only, I am hosting the biggest contest and giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 2 real NFL jerseys. The first one in the contest, the usual contest, 110 players, 1 week fantasy football tournament. So the person that finishes first place will get an NFL jersey of their choice. And another special deal, I'm giving away another jersey in a giveaway for the same contest. If you've never signed up for FanDuel, and if it's your first time playing FanDuel and you enter in my contest this week, for the first 10 people that sign up and enter my contest, there'll be a random winner. I'll randomly select one person and they will also win an NFL jersey. So this week only, folks, I'm giving away 2 NFL jerseys. I'll go over some more details at the very end of this video on how to enter, but it's basically a 1 week fantasy football contest. Costs only $2 to enter. You can enter up to 2 times, 110 entries total maximum, so it fills up real fast. So I suggest you enter. Just follow the link below. It's bit.ly/couch416. Sign up, use promo code FANTASYCOUCH if you never signed up before. Otherwise, just enter. You can play up to 2 times. I'll be entering in the contest. Some more Fantasy Couch Squad members will be entering as well. I wish you guys good luck. Let's go into my picks for week 10. You already know how we do on this show. We like to start off with the kicker and defense first. Lots of good kickers and lots of good defenses at great prices this week. I'm going with, let's keep it simple. All right, guys, lots of options, but let's keep it simple. I'll go with Robbie Gould, the Giants kicker, or with Nick Novak of the Houston kicker, playing against the Jaguars. Jaguars allowed the most points against the kicker position in fantasy. My top 3 kickers this week as far as fantasy points, projected fantasy points, not just not considering their salary and their price. I like Justin Tucker, Dan Bailey, and Stephen Gostkowski. Tucker is 4,800, plays Thursday night. Dan Bailey's 4,900. And Stephen Gostkowski is my number 1 kicker. He's the most expensive as well, playing against the Seahawks. He's priced at 5,100. For now, let's stick in, let's go with Robbie Gould for now. Let's stick him in. And we like to pick a cheap kicker and cheap defense, then spend up if we have any more salary left over. So for defenses, I like to go with lots of options for GPPs here, but I'm going to go with the Washington defense playing against the Vikings. Vikings put up very little points offensively, so I'm going to go with Washington's defense at only 4,400. Some great options for GPP are the Jaguars at 4,100, Giants at 4,400, Eagles, Bengals, Chiefs, and Panthers. And those are just like risky defensive picks that could be contrarians. And I think they have a lot of potential. Also, some of those save a lot of money, like the Jaguars, only 4,100, basically minimum price there. If you want to spend up and not allocate for the Washington defense, I like the Rams at 4,600, playing against the Jets. We all know the Jets are kind of horrible team this year. The Jets playing against the Rams. The Rams don't score a lot of points. That could be a very low scoring game. I believe it's slated to be the lowest scoring game for week 10. Also, the Vikings going against Washington, that could be a low-scoring game. You know, we're getting into the top 2 defenses here. The Ravens at 5,100, playing against the Browns Thursday night. Should be a low-scoring game. It should be a game where the Browns suck like usual. Now, the Cardinals, this is hands down going to be the favorite defense for everybody this week. They're playing against the Niners. They're favored to win by 13.5 points. This defense has a decent floor, meaning they're somewhat safe. You know, as far as defenses go, it's like an oxymoron, a safe defense. But as far as defenses go, they're pretty safe. And the ceiling is the highest because I really don't see Kaepernick and the Niners doing very well against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are kind of like the Patriots. They show no mercy, full throttle all the time. They'll throw it in the 4th quarter even when they're up by a touchdown. They don't care. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the Niners. Lots of room for the Niners to fail and the Cardinals to score touchdowns and get turnovers. So it's great if you can afford it. And I think there's going to be ways that we can afford a defense like the Cardinals this week. For cash games, I love Aaron Rodgers. I picked him last week. I picked him a couple times already in cash games. He's really safe, but I also have other options. Aaron Rodgers is 9,000. Okay, great quarterback, right? But we can go with Carson Palmer here playing against the Niners. Basically, all the reasons I just mentioned, like they go full throttle. I think one of my favorite picks this week is actually going to be Dak Prescott, though, because I just like the price. 7,700 should be a high-scoring game. The Steelers are slightly favored to win, so it should be close. It's not like, we're going to see a lot of Alfred Morris in the fourth quarter. Hey, at least that, of course there's shockers every week, but we got to go off what we can project. And we project this to be a close game. It could be kind of a shootout, 50 points total for both teams. And I see Dak Prescott rushing with the football. This guy's been basically an elite, like upper echelon quarterback except for week 1, which is totally understandable. 4th round rookie, first game, they played it safe. Now he's fully unleashed. And the Steelers defense doesn't quite scare me. I say the Steelers defense does good against bad teams, and they don't do good against good teams. So they've looked good a couple times this year, but that's only because the offense they face hasn't looked good. Can't really beat that. 7,700 for a cash game. Now I'm talking more cash games. For GPPs, you have a lot of options, but I'm more than likely going to try to save in some areas. Maybe try to get like the Cardinals defense. And running backs, save for this guy, because David Johnson, he's going to be chalk, meaning he's going to be picked in every cash game for people that know what they're doing at least a little bit. 9,400, okay, super expensive, but going against the Niners. We saw when everything kind of went wrong what happened. And this guy, David Johnson, only got 10 carries, I believe, last game. And he still did good because he's still involved in the game plan. He's still involved in the passing game. So I absolutely love David Johnson, 9,400. I mean, for anybody who, it's obvious. Everyone's going to pick him. And in GPPs, he should probably be, I'd say, in at least 3 out of 4 of your lineups. So if you submit like 10 lineups, he should probably be in about 7 or 8 of them, because he's just really that good. Like it's hard not for him not to be. If you're doing GPPs, though, you definitely want to not pick him in some lineups because he's going to be super popular. He's probably going to be owned in like 40-50% of GPP lineups, maybe even more. It seems like in a cash game and even in a GPP, you're going to have at least one of these guys. I'm probably going to avoid DeMarco Murray just because we can't pick everybody. And he's good, but he's facing a pretty tough Green Bay Packers defense. And Mariota may need to throw the ball just a little bit in the fourth quarter. So this could be a little bit of a shootout here. I see a lot of passing. So you go with Elliott, Melvin Gordon, Le'Veon Bell, Jay Ajayi. So I think you got to have one of those top 5 running backs this week. And even 2 if you can afford it. I do have some cheaper options, though. Mark Ingram should be risky. I see him being the main back on the Broncos. And that's based on nothing. I'm going to be honest with you. I just think Ingram is the better running back. He has more upside. I'm talking in terms of real NFL, not just fantasy. And I think they'll go with Mark Ingram more. Only priced 100 more than Tim Hightower, who's 6,200, and Ingram is 6,300. Not a great cash game play, but I wanted to definitely touch on that topic. Giovanni Bernard, now that's a little bit better cash play. No matter how the game turns out, he'll still be heavily involved. He's a good pass catching running back. Peyton Barber, that's a huge, that's a risky one, but I do like him if Doug Martin is out. I'd say that Doug Martin has about an 80-85% chance of playing, though, but just wanted to touch up on that too. We got to talk about running back injuries, right? Because that's a huge factor in fantasy. A guy that I would probably recommend in cash games, that you can consider is Darren Sproles. Because, I said this before on a video. I don't like when people recommend just all expensive guys. Like, how can you possibly make a lineup out of all these expensive guys? It doesn't work. You got to have a cheap guy. So that's why I always talk about strategy, and I always talk about expensive guys, mid-level price guys, and cheap guys. And Darren Sproles is a cheap guy. He's named the starter, 5,100, has a good matchup, going against the Falcons, playing at home. I absolutely love this matchup. He has some upside and a decent floor, involved in the pass game, even returns kicks. So hey, might even put up, may even be able to put up 6 points that way. Okay, so for the 3 punts I have, these are more GPPs. I have Capri Bibbs, who could be more involved in the offense, facing the Saints, 4,600. Andre Ellington at 4,500. I don't like this pick, guys, but I had to talk about this scenario here. If you have a multiple lineups in there, you know, if the Cardinals really do have a 3-touchdown lead, I don't see why they would keep using David Johnson and him carrying the ball and taking unnecessary hits. I see them using a guy like Andre Ellington, but hey, they could even use Stephon Taylor. Like, we don't know, but I just want to throw that out there as a good punt, a GPP punt. One that I do like, a GPP punt that I do like more than Ellington is Paul Perkins, though. Giants running back facing the Bengals, a poor rush defense. So I do like that one a lot. Keep in mind, though, when I say GPP punts, these are super risky picks that can definitely fail. For wide receivers, kind of similar, you know, not as necessary, but somewhat similar in strategy. You kind of have to pick one of these top-notch guys. And, you know, there's guys, ODB, Julio, Green, but guys that are cheaper that I'll probably pick. I mean, the price is just there. I know a lot of people will come to this same conclusion, but I just have to. I got to go with probably either one of these guys, Antonio Brown or Mike Evans. I think Antonio Brown has a slightly higher floor. He's a little bit more safer, 8,600. Mike Evans, I'll put it like this. I think he's wrongfully priced. 8,500, that's to me is too cheap and shouldn't be that low. Dez Bryant, he just had a bad game, guys. And when somebody has a bad game, the next week they're owned in less lineups. And Dez Bryant, 7,500. I'm not going to classify this as strictly GPP or strictly cash. I'm just going to say he's a contrarian pick. He's more suitable for GPP, I would say, definitely. But he can still be considered in some cash lineups if you want. So 7,500, I think is cheap. Decent matchup. Not going to be owned in a lot of lineups. We'll put it at that. For GPPs, I like these three guys. Hopkins, Jeffrey, and Allen Robinson. Hopkins is 7,400. Now, can't get more risky than that. This guy's been horrible. Nobody's going to own him, I don't think. But he is facing Jacksonville. He does have some potential here. Not a guy I'm going to bank on. Not a guy I have a lot of faith in. Alshon Jeffrey, 7,200. Now, this guy I definitely have a little bit more trust in, and he's cheaper. I think Cutler is going to throw the ball to Alshon Jeffrey. And Allen Robinson at 7,000. This is a really risky move, and I do like this. This should be a close game. And I do see Allen Robinson, again, getting another 10 targets like he always does every game. And, you know, hopefully he can catch some of them and maybe get in the end zone. So 7,000, that's a good GPP pick. Now, those picks were risky. We're talking about a not so risky pick. I absolutely love Emmanuel Sanders at 6,900. When it comes to the mid-range price, this is my pick here. Now, for 1,000 cheaper, for 5,900, you can get Terrell Williams or Jordan Howard or Jordan Matthews. They're both priced $5,900. I really like these guys, especially if Travis Benjamin on the Chargers doesn't play. Terrell Williams' value skyrockets. $5,900, great value. Jordan Matthews, same thing, $5,900, great value. Eagles are probably going to have to throw the ball a little bit in the fourth quarter. I know they like to play defense and run out the clock at the end. Take it slow tempo. But against Matt Ryan and the Falcons, they're probably going to find a way to score somehow, even though the Eagles are at home. And some cheaper options. Real quick, a GPP pick could be Sammy Coates, 5,400. With the Darius Hayward bailout and Coates put up a stinker, I believe he got 0 fantasy points last week. He still saw 5 targets. He's still explosive, and he's still frustrating. He's still risky, and that's what makes him a great GPP pick. Definitely don't pick him in cash game. And if you never played before, haven't watched any of my videos, by the way, cash games are the ones where you have a basically 50% chance of winning. So that's 50-50s, double ups, and head-to-heads. GPPs is the one with the big prize. The contest I have is technically a GPP, even though it's a small pool, only 110 entries. It's still a GPP where you have a bigger prize and it's much harder to win. Now, the cheap guys, I like Dontrell Inman if Travis Benjamin is out, only 5,300. Adam Humphries, it seems like Russell Shepard may not play at 5,200. That's okay. And I'd have to say Humphries is safer and has less upside, and Inman is a little more risky but has more upside. Also, I like Marquise Lee at 5,000 if Allen Hurns is out. I believe he's going to play though. So I just wanted to touch up on that though. Allen Hurns did suffer a concussion, I believe, last week. So just keep tabs on that. Kendall Wright, 4,800. That's more of a GPP pick, but you know, it's 4,800. So actually I'd have to label this guy more of a punt. And Brian Quick, minimum price, 4,500, going against the Jets. Poor pass defense, the Jets defense, that is. For tight ends, I'm not going to talk about these high price guys too much because it's really, I mean, it really is what it is. Gronk, awesome, but he's very expensive. Jimmy Graham, Travis Kelce, Delaney Walker, Eifert. I like all those guys. Eifert's a little bit, well, he's been a little bit touchdown dependent, but you know, I think that label may wear off a little bit. I think they're going to go to him a lot more because Sanu is out the picture, Marvin Jones is out the picture. I think Eifert's going to be a real, if this guy can stay healthy, I think he's going to be a real solid target, not just on clutch third down catches and not just in the red zone. I think this guy's valuable. So for, you know, let's go with the more of the mid-tier guys and the cheaper guys. Let's focus on that. Antonio Gates at 5,700 is an amazing pick if Hunter Henry is out. You know, Keenan Allen done for the year. Hunter Henry is hurt. And Travis Benjamin is out. I mean, Gates is the most trustworthy target for Phillip Rivers in that passing game. And he's very likely to get a touchdown if Henry is out. Zach Miller, 5,400. Great value right there. I absolutely love Vance McDonald in GPPs. This is nothing more than a crazy upside contrarian GPP pick. Vance McDonald and the tight ends have not been involved in the offense that much. He doesn't get a lot of targets. We saw a slight uptick in targets. I think if I had to say the Cardinals had a weakness, they don't really have a weakness, but I think it may be that tight end position. So we saw Kaepernick spread the ball, but that, you know, that's why it's a super sleeper pick at 4,800. Okay, guys. Now, options that are not GPPs, Zach Ertz at 4,600. I really like Lance Kendricks at 4,500. He's quietly actually becoming a decent tight end. And in a cash game, I highly recommend Lance Kendricks 4,500 if you want to save room. You know, you're starting David Johnson. You might want the Cardinals defense, so on and so forth. You need to save room. Lance Kendricks is the guy. Now, other punt options are Austin Hooper, Virgil Green going against the Saints, and Will Tye. Those last guys I mentioned, last four guys actually, all those guys are all minimum priced at 4,500, by the way. And those are all my picks for week 10. Make sure you enter my 1 week fantasy football contest. Just follow the link below. It's bit.ly/couch416. All the info and the link is there below. If you're signing up, haven't played before, use promo code Fantasy Couch. Should already be there, but if it's not, make sure you use promo code Fantasy Couch. And just to reiterate some of the rules, it's $2 to enter. I'll be playing. You can enter up to 2 times. It's 110 total entries. Spots fill up super fast, so enter right away so you'll be able to get in. First place wins a real NFL jersey from NFLshop.com. The first 10 people to sign up, create new accounts on FanDuel and play will be entered to win an NFL jersey. So I'm giving away 2 jerseys for the first time, guys, and I don't plan on doing this every week, so make sure you guys enter. Make sure you guys watch the how to play DFS. If you've never played or never watched a video, it's a must. And click on my logo here, that couch logo, to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll see you guys on the new video.